This was a particularly good day. Sunday, February 10, 2013. Great air. This is about, I suppose, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Tassie, near Launceston. It's last month of summer. It was a nice F3J launch with the Ceres. But yeah, the weather was buoyant. It was a bit chopped up early on, but after about an hour, the lift just became a lot more predictable, a lot smoother, and the thermals became bigger. And this particular flight was good, just a beat up, no ballast, but plenty of lift to choose from, all over the place, but big sink as well. There was a flight prior to this, went for 2.5 minutes, off an F3J launch. I'm not big on long launches because you have to walk too far to get the parachute. This is the Ceres flying without ballast at 2.2 kilo with new flap horns made from Laminex. Nothing fancy, but gee, they make a difference. A lot more positive and less blowback on launch. The clevises, my mate Bruce, who can out MacGyver, reckons he can reduce drag on those clevises by just sticking a foam insert, which is something I will explore. I could put shrouds on them, but it's too much mucking around. There's a fragile tape just near the leading edge on the right hand side, and I had a prang yesterday at Braddon's. I had 11 seconds of extreme rotor. Launching at Braddon's is now very tricky because the tree line has grown up. Braddon's is in Tassie, near Devonport, northwest Tassie, and yesterday was blustery, 30-40 knots south-southwest, and now that the trees have grown up, launching at Braddon's is tough. You're launching into a rotor, so we're going to have to look at launching slightly along the slope. John Skinner recommended. We'll have to look into that. Anyway, back to this Ceres with the new flap horns, and got rid of the 171 JR servos, miserable things, expensive, didn't centre, and noisy. I've replaced them with 94761 Airtronics or Samwa servos in servo frames, and it makes a world of difference. They're quiet. If you do a flyby at height, at 50 foot above your head, it doesn't sound like a Lancaster park flyer. It sounds like a glider should. It doesn't buzz. It's brilliant. Still got MKSs on the flaps, and they're a good servo. Any servo is much better with longer horns, that's for sure, with a drag penalty. But the 94761's really good, rock solid, made in China. They work and they centre and they don't make a noise, and they're cheap. Anyway, this flight was extraordinary. It was after about 3 minutes. It's about now. We're about 3.5 minutes into it. Wasn't a lot of lift around, but I think I picked something off about now. There's a ploughed paddock slightly north of where I am at the moment, which I didn't know about. I probably couldn't have ranged out there with my eyesight, but if I'd known, there would have been a bit of heat generation on there. The paddock I'm over at the moment is a bull paddock, and it's pretty barren, so there's a bit of heat generated from it. Yeah, today was good. It was lift pretty much everywhere. But only after about 2 o'clock. Prior to that, it was a bit of a cocktail, a bit of everything. It still flutters. Damn it! I did a couple of flights before this, diving from some height, without ballast, made it flutter. Damn it! So. I suspect the ailerons, again, it's wonderful to have flap horns and aileron horns which don't broach the surface, but without going to RDS you just don't have that leverage. You don't have that mechanical advantage which stops that resonance around neutral. To eliminate flutter, you have to go to so much trouble with this particular linkage. So flap horns are in and they make a difference. I don't reckon there's flutter from them. I reckon the aileron horns are still fluttering. And God help me if I go to the trouble of replacing the aileron horns and it still flutters and I find out it's the elevators. That would be so funny. But 94761s on ailerons, a good move. I've also got 94761s on ruddervators on this thing as well. When the JR 3401s, or at least one of them, started to play up, it wouldn't centre. So replace those and haven't had a problem. Still running 5 cell 1600 Intellect nickel metal hydride pack, 2/3 AA, no problem, works fine. And as long as you trickle charge them every now and then, 50 to 100 milliamps, that's fine. I've had this pack for a couple of years now. Free Sky gear. Free Sky is awesome. It's cheap as chips. We've got a bit of height here. That's rather high. That's probably ranging out about, pushing about 700, 800 metres from where I am. The Free Sky starts to beep if it loses packets with its error detection protocol. If it loses a packet of data, it beeps. And when it beeps, you know you're too far away or your orientation is wrong. The Free Sky's got 2 receiver antennas. Here we go, I think we're coming home. There's some great lift today, really good lift. This is 34 lap F3B conditions, I reckon. So yeah, Free Sky, highly recommended, and they're bringing out a new range of transmitter modules and receivers that give you more functionality. Gives you a Vario. They've actually produced a mini Vario, really small. You can plug it into these, the receiver I've got, and they're cheap as chips. Compare it to other manufacturers' pricing structure for add-ons, and Free Sky is just streets ahead. Yeah, Ceres. Back to the Ceres. It's viceless. It's one of those well sorted aeroplanes and well built. I suppose the only negative is spar bulge. Getting a bit of spar bulge in this thing you don't normally see on other aeroplanes. I assume Jerry's sorted it out. I've got a Radek Munzar VCOS that has no spar bulge at all. I guess it's down to how you pop the spar in, and I think having another layer of fabric, or at least more generous application of resin and filler, would sort out that spar bulge. Maybe it's even decreasing the distance of the depth of the spar when you lay it up. I'd suggest that's probably it. Jury's probably cutting it fine with the tolerances between the spar and the skins before he lays it up. But again, it's probably a good weight saving measure. Looks like we've done a speed run. There's still more lift to be had. We're 9 minutes into this 11-minute flight and there's more lift. The weather was good. It wasn't windy. It was only gusty thermally, but if a thermal was around, it didn't vanish. It stayed around a bit. There are days here where you have to chase thermals that are travelling at 15-20 knots, and it's tough. You rapidly get out of range. So 2 minutes of thermaling, it's exciting, but you get out of range really quick. We're out of fair range here. We're probably about 800, 900 metres out now. And that paddock, didn't quite make the paddock. That would have been good. I reckon there would have been a lot of lift there. It would have been good with a little bit of ballast. Didn't get around to it though. This aeroplane really responds well to ballast. But in this air, anything responds to ballast really well. Yeah, highly recommended. Jerry Bowdles' aeroplanes. He's got a new Vixen F3J, Darryl Perkins design coming out. Jerry's got his construction down pat. I don't know what he uses for his resin, but the surface of this Ceres is just stunning in terms of durability. I've really butchered it trying to get the old servos out twice, I think, in the case of the flaps. And yet it's you can see the surface is pretty flawless. It's really strong and light. It's very, very good manufacturing process he's got sorted out. Oh, and flap travel, massive flat travel now with these things. Probably got about 80 degrees down flap with corresponding elevator comp, and that's it.